Okay, we're continuing with the book here, The Best of the West in Art, Music, and Movies by me, Pete Rogers. We're on like page 94. We're looking at the paintings here of Thomas Cole. These are like some of the greatest story paintings of all time. This series of painting was called The Course of Empire. So here it is at the peak of empire, the consummation of empire. And then here, the next one is the fall of empire, destruction. And that's kind of where America is right now. And so basically, Thomas Cole was part of the Hudson River School. They're very religious. You know, almost all the great painters and the great writers and the great sculptors, they're all religious because religion says that life has meaning, that everything we do is part of a cosmic struggle between good and evil, and it matters, it counts. Okay, so you're inspired to do the best you can to please God, to please yourself, to do something useful for posterity. Versus one of the reasons why all these modern atheists, they stink and they're not able to create anything of lasting value is because atheism says that life is meaningless. Well, if you think that life is meaningless, and you know, art is a concretization of metaphysics, of your values, you're basically, when you create a piece of art, you're saying this is important, this is worth taking a look at. And if you think that nothing in life is worth taking a look at, then how are you going to create any good art? No, you're going to create some trivial nonsense. So that's why almost all the great artists are Christians. It's just a fact. And that's why other cultures that don't even have a religion, just an atheistic philosophy, they almost never create any art. Virtually none of it. 99+% of good art's been created by the Christians. Okay, Christians should be proud of it. Instead of saying multiculturalism is okay, they should say all these other cultures compared to us at art, literature, music, they stink. Okay? All right, so anyways, the cycle of empire, you get into the whole Giambattista Vico stuff, you know, how a culture starts out proud and religious and triumphant and masculine, and it conquers an area or settles a wilderness, and then over time it develops affluence, and then over time it starts to lose respect for its religion, and it becomes decadent and dissolute, then it's conquered by somebody else or it just falls apart. And so that's how it kind of goes, and that's kind of like what's happening to the West right now. And it either returns to God, has a religious revival, or it just plummets into the garbage can. Okay, so that's like what's going to happen to the West. It's either going to have a redevelopment of confidence in its Christian ideals and its origins, or it's going to go into the garbage can. For example, I saw something like on the news recently where it said, oh, students are doing such and such for winter break. And I felt winter break is an insult, okay? Don't go for winter break or happy holidays. It's an official national holiday, Christmas. It is the Christmas holiday, okay? And if you think that's no big deal, then you don't understand. Christianity is just being pushed out of the public sphere. The nativity scenes pushed out of the public sphere. The Ten Commandments pushed out of the public sphere. All of this stuff is just the highway to slavery, okay? So anyways, magnificent set of paintings. He's got a whole bunch of magnificent paintings. His best series is Voyage of Life. Okay, and then The Course of Empire, I think, is his second best series of paintings. Okay, here's a quote by T.S. Eliot. If you will not have God, and he is a jealous God, then you should pay your respects to Stalin. Okay, now here's what Stalin says. The Communist Party cannot be neutral towards religion. The Communist Party stands for science, and all religion is opposed to science. Now that's an absolutely untrue, idiotic quote, because the modern scientific method was founded by the Catholic Church. That is well known. All the original science stuff, it came from the Catholic Church. This is well known. There's plenty of books written about it. I've given videos about it. But the reason Stalin is saying this is because he wants total power. He has to get rid of Christianity and religion in order for him to have total power and become the equivalent of a god like the previous Roman emperors. So that's why tyrants hate religion, because it says that there's somebody above them, God. Okay. Okay, remember this is chapter 2 with the second best of everything. So this is a landscape painting, second best landscape painting. This is by Frederick Edwin Church. It's like sunrise in the morning here. What's it called? Above the Clouds at Sunrise. And it's just beautiful. It's spectacular. Okay, the next one is the next water-based landscape painting. Okay, that was a land-based landscape painting. This is a water-based landscape painting. Niagara Falls by Edwin Church. It's beautiful. Okay, the next one is Landscape During Winter. This one by Peter Mork Munstead, Danish painter from 1900. And does that remind you of your childhood or what? Back in the good old days when things were simpler? Here's the second best landscape painting during autumn. Staruka Viaduct by Jasper Crosby. I think he was sort of like a disciple of the Hudson River School. Rather beautiful thing with the train and the valley. Okay, the next one is the best building, second best building painting. This one, Notre Dame Cathedral by Auguste van Siegen, 1894. You know, and you could easily say Karl Schinker, who made those paintings of the cathedrals around 1800, he's actually a better painter than this guy. But the Cathedral of Notre Dame has a lot of historic meaning. You know, I went to Paris, France, and I love the place, and I love Victor Hugo's novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And the Notre Dame Cathedral has incredible historic significance, one of the earliest cathedrals. And it's sort of a turning point. You know, it recently was burned down in a fire just a couple years ago, and now they're rebuilding it, but they're doing some disgraceful things associated with the rebuilding. And, you know, we'll see how France handles that. If France goes back to Catholicism, the country will be saved. But if it gives up on Catholicism and continues with this secularism, atheism, the country will be destroyed. It's rather obvious. Okay. Okay, what's the second best comedy ever? And that would be Animal House. The best one was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's one of the greatest comedies of all time. But Animal House was magnificent. When I was a young guy, I knew every word of that movie from start to finish. Flounder, you know, will you join the fraternity? I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. Second best song for Making Love, Crazy Love, sung by Van Morrison. Back in the good old days. Second best soft rock song, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, Cinderella. They had a lot of great songs. Mama, I'm Coming Home. Well, that's Ozzy, but they had another one, I'm Coming Home. That's just a great album, that Cinderella album. Okay, second best heavy metal song, Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Okay. I think that's one. I'm sitting in my cold cell and the bell begins to chime, reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time. It's just awesome. Iron Maiden is the greatest heavy metal group of all time. Second best heavy metal group, Rainbow. Catch the Rainbow, the song, the live version. It's magnificent. You know, and the best of heavy metal is some of the best rock and roll music ever made. I mean, Led Zeppelin, Rainbow, Iron Maiden, it's just great. I used to listen to all that stuff when I was a wrestler back in college. I loved all that stuff. Okay, second best Christian song for lifting weights, Dry Bones Come Alive, sung by Lauren Daigle. That kind of makes you think, yeah, even an old guy, I can get tough and lift these weights. Second best macho country song, I Won't Back Down by Johnny Cash. Yep, I love that song. Johnny Cash, Scots-Irish guy. I won't back down. That's the Scots-Irish, man. America needs more of that. We want to keep our free speech. We want to keep the Constitution. That would be nice for America. Best Irish song, Star of the County Down. Second best Irish song. I love that one. It's just beautiful. It reminds me of my childhood. Traveling to Ireland, knowing Irish girls. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay and from Galway to Dublin town, there ain't no maid I seen but the fair Colleen. It's been a while since I thought the words, but as soon as I hear it, I know it. She's the star of the county down. Second best oratorio, Unto Us a Child is Born from Handel's Messiah. It's magnificent. First Time Ever I Saw Your Face by Roberta Flack. That's the best song about having a baby, you know. First time ever I saw your face. Man, you see that ultrasound of your baby moving around. It's got hands, it got feet. It's a little person. It's alive. It's something to see. Painting of the Holy Family by Michelangelo. Okay. You ought to make young mothers see an ultrasound of the baby before they make a decision about it. Second best painting of family love, Maternal Love, painted by Francesco de Mura, Italian painter. Mama taking care of her 3 babies. In the corner, likewise, that's sort of the famous painting of the I don't know, is it the stork or something? It pecks its breast and the baby feeds on that. Maternal Love. Yeah, that's part of how women are corrupted. They're corrupted with feminism, and they're corrupted with this idea that it's somehow a noble thing to bump off your baby. The opposite of Christianity, which says the greatest thing you could ever do is have a baby. And I can tell you, I know all these women, the greatest love of their life is their children. Okay, that's way more important than some random job. Okay, next one. Second best Christian traditional song would be Shepherd Me, O God, Psalm 23 by Marty Haugen. He's got the best version of Psalm 23. There's a lot of good versions, and Keith Green has a good version, but Marty's is better for this song. Best Christian song, Ave Maria. The best version of singing Ave Maria probably would be, most perfect version would be Pavarotti, but my favorite version is John McCormick. Make My Life a Prayer to You, No Compromise. Second best Christian song, modern type, folk song, Keith Green. Second best modern female Christian singer is Kari Jobe and her version of I Am Not Alone. That's a great song. Number 2, best Christian hymn, What a Beautiful Name by Hillsong Worship. They got a lot of great songs, Hillsong does. Number 2, best classical music song, Violin for Oboe Concerto in G minor. The key thing to know is BWV 1056 Largo. Largo is really slow, slower than Adagio, by Bach. And that sounds like heaven. Trust me. Bach, BWV 1056 Largo. It'll sound like heaven. It's so beautiful. Second best classical music composer, that would be Mozart. I thought if I had to say wrestlers, make wrestlers like classical music composers. That would be kind of funny. Mark Schultz, the brooding, powerful genius, would be like Beethoven, kind of scary, intense, innovative. Dave Schultz like Mozart, technically perfect. Dan Gable like Bach, predictable in a perfect sort of way. Number 2, best traditional Christmas song, O Come All Ye Faithful. Number 2, modern Christmas song, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas by Bing Crosby. Number 2, saddest Christmas song, If I Get Home on Christmas Day by Elvis. Number 2, best American song, God Bless America. Number 2, best Bible story, The Gospel of St. Mark. That one's really easy to read. You can read it pretty fast. I did a whole bunch of pictorial essays on a few parts of Gospel according to Mark. Number 2, best Bible quote from Matthew. Matthew chapter 12, verses 25 to 27. If a kingdom is divided against itself, it cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, it cannot stand. No one can enter a strong man's house to steal his possessions unless he first ties up the strong man. Then he can plunder his house. So what does that mean? It's obvious, okay? That's the Western world. That's the Western Christian man. The Western Christian man is being tied up by the coalition of the fringes, turning everyone against him. So once he's tied up and bound, all the rest of them are weak, and they will be forced into slavery or just bumped off completely. That's the future, okay? Either the Christian ethics are going to be restored, or that's what's happening. It's inevitable. It's been in writing for many decades, and it's all happening. So what are you going to do? Number 2, best saint, St. Jude, patron saint of hopeless causes. My mom used to have statues of him, and her faith helped her a lot in her life. She was like the happiest person I ever saw in my life and the nicest person I ever saw in my life. I learned a lot from her about how to live. My father motivated me to study the books, but my mother kind of was like the version of Alyosha in real life, showed me a better way to live. Number 2, best Christian symbol, the Holy Grail. Oh yeah, and this is just a painting of it, the painting of King Arthur's round table with the knights and the Holy Grail in the center. And only Sir Galahad could find it, even though Sir Lancelot was a better knight, a better fighter. Sir Galahad had kept himself pure to make himself worthy of finding the Holy Grail. Okay, we're going to call it there for today. I hope you found that helpful, interesting.